Well, hello everybody. It has been, what has it been? At least two and a half weeks? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Sorry about that, guys, but with the holidays and everything mixed with, I wasn't quite feeling good on and off, mixed with, well, like I said, I've only got one computer and I got to share everything. Welcome to the newest installment of Psycho's Platters, episode 34, which I think I'll be titling Sign, Everywhere They Sign. This is the autograph episode. Yeah. Now, I've got some pieces here I'm going to show you pretty much at random. This is just going to be off the top of my head. Okay. Sorry, that's how I kind of best work that way anyway. I want to give you a quick little brief backstory on some things here. I've collected autographs. Oops, excuse me, a little shaky there. I've collected autographs since about 1976. That's when I started collecting, when I was 9 years old, when I got to meet my very first celebrity, which, since I'm from near Chicago area, it was a Chicago Cub. Bill Madlock came to the opening of my Walgreens that opened up in Crystal Lake, Illinois, when I was growing up. Followed by, within, I want to say it was a month or two later, I got to meet Tammy Wynette. She opened at the Kmart that was in Crystal Lake too. She was so nice to me. She called me cutie. For a 9-year-old, that's kind of neat anyway. But anyways, so I've been collecting autographs on and off since the mid-'70s, but I kind of got in late in the game, at least in my opinion, as far as for trying for autographs from music people. I didn't really start until about, oh heck, as goofy as this sounds, it would have been 2002 when I went to go see Molly Hatchet in a bar in Wonder Lake, Illinois. They were opening up this new bar, and I'm like, you know what? I figured, what the hell? So ever since then, I've started trying to get autographs at the concerts that I go to. And there's other obvious places too to try to get your favorite autographs if you can. So, okay, what methods can we try to secure some of our favorite band graphs? Well, all right, let's see. Right off the bat, concerts is a biggie. Okay, so let's talk about this for a few minutes. All right. Here's kind of a rule of thumb. I usually go 2 to 3 hours ahead of time before the doors open. Now, I know some of you people might be like, I don't have all that time. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you something. The thing is that most of the time, and I mean most, getting there before the concert starts, you're going to have a better chance of getting autographs. Okay, you're also going to probably have a better chance of getting rejected too, but there's very few people there. Okay, seriously. The dozen or so times that I went early, there was 10 or less people, seriously, milling around. Like I said, that doesn't always guarantee success. I love Kiss. Kiss is one of my favorite bands from the 70s. Still is. Got to see them back in 2000, okay, over at the Rockford Metro Center in Rockford, Illinois. Got myself there about 2.5, almost 3 hours early because, well, I had to take care of some business downtown. Well, me and my kid were there. Peter Criss happens to pull up in a Crown Victoria, I think it was. He was in the back. He comes out, blows both of us off. Me and my kid were the only ones there. And as he's going in, I half yelled, thanks. I spent my lunch money on you and the band in 76. I know he wasn't feeling too good by 2000. But still, it's just me and my kid. That was nice. Politeness is a key, kids. Try not to be rude unless they're being rude first. And even then, it's like, And I've had a handful of them. Boy, I have. So, yeah, about at least 2 hours early if you can get away with it, even sooner if it's one of your favorite bands. They like to do sound checks, obviously, hours before the gig to make sure that everything's pretty much right. For example, that's what I'm planning on doing when I go see the Monkees in Tulsa. I'll be there by noon, milling around. It's important to me. Would I get there that early for anybody? No, very few bands. So concert venue, like I said, be nice, get there early if you can. Hey, you know what? Know your venue. If you happen to know your venue, you will actually score better points. Hang on a second here. I know this isn't a musician person, but I thought I'd pull this one out really quick. If you know your venue, for example, when I grew up, we had an old movie theater that got turned into a performing arts center. It was called the Rouse Center in Crystal Lake, Illinois. Because I knew the exits, okay, and I knew where people had to come in, I hung there. I'm not kidding you. I hung there for, I usually, once again, like I said, I'll go 2 hours ahead before the performance, or I'll stay after. Now, I know this is kind of funny. I've called the venue wherever the show's going to be in the past, because if you can't make it, or you can't afford tickets, I know this is a cheap way on this one. It's maybe bad of me, but I don't care. Knowledge is power, kids. But I'd call the venue and go off and say, hey, guess what? I have to go pick up a relative there after the show. When's the show roughly going to get out? Do you have any rough idea? 90% of the time they do, and that's when I'll sit there. I will show up minutes before that show's over, and I will sit there in the designated area. So 30 minutes after this particular show ended, I waited along with my friend Scott, and I saw that the limo wasn't in the back, but the limo was around the corner. And I said, guess what? I bet when this limo moves, it's going to be for him. That's how I scored, pardon the glare. Here's Johnny, Magic Moments from the Tonight Show, signed by Ed McMahon. Ed McMahon showed up at the Rouse Center in April of 2007. Really nice guy. Really, really nice. And we had our picture taken and everything. Go on my Facebook page. I've got pictures with a lot of people that I met, music-wise and celebrity-wise. There's not a lot, but still. So, and that's also how I met Leonard Nimoy back in January of 2007. I found out he was going to be there too. Went 2 hours early. Turned out it was me and my friend and 2 other people. That was it. 4 people. Just the 4 of us and Leonard Nimoy. Really nice man, seriously. Got both of both of his books signed. I didn't, I figured, everybody else would bring Star Trek stuff, which is what they did. But I liked his books. And I had his first edition, semi-rare actually, from 1975. And then his, which was I'm Not Spock, and then I Am Spock. So, like I said, so know your venue, know your exits. Okay. Everything's kind of cool. All right. Don't be greedy. I know that sounds really strange. Only bring a couple things, max. Okay. It would behoove you not to overdo it. I remember one time. Let me see if I can pull this out for a second here while I'm talking to you. I went to this concert at the Woodstock Opera House in Woodstock, Illinois. Okay, yeah, here's my example. Sorry about this, but like I said, off the cuff's how I like this. And there was, Al Stewart. You know him. Year of the Cat, Time Passages, On the Border, good stuff. His last couple CDs in the 2000s been really good. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. I like Himmelman Turn. I like a bunch of other stuff that he's done in the last few years. So he shows up, though, And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, okay? First of all, he's never shown up in this venue or even in the county or anywhere outside of Chicago, to my knowledge anyway, in the last 20 plus years at that time. So yeah, okay, fine. I brought about 5 albums. I have every album that I had of his, in my collection. I brought with me. And, if there was a limit, okay, fine. I understood that. The manager of him, very nice man. Seriously, me and him got to do personal stories before I got to talk to Al. So here's my Al Stewart signed 24 Carats album, not from I think it's from 1980, and really nice man. But there was a guy that brought 15 albums. There was about, and I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that. I mean, the line was long. It was real long. So please be respectful of the artist, to be respectful of the line when you're there. Okay. So, all right. You're in the venue. Okay. You're in the venue, or you're outside the venue, or okay. I'm sorry. I'm so out of it today. I am, but I'm trying here, kids. I'm trying. So, okay. Here's another thing. What is the first thing that you should do when you're going into the concert? You waited. Maybe you did good. Maybe you struck out before the show. You go into the show. What's the first place you should go to before you get your seat? Merch table. That's right. Because I'm going to tell you something. At least as of late, like the last couple years, I have noticed a nice new trend. Now, I know it doesn't happen for every show, but they should do this for every show, for every artist. Okay? They'll sell signed merch. They will. I have gotten some nice examples of signed merch. What's going to happen is, because like I said, this was so last minute, I'll show some examples over the next few episodes of some signed CDs. I couldn't get to some of these things. But for example, when I went to go see Cheap Trick and Alice Cooper in 2004, I love Alice, and it was for the Dirty Diamonds tour. Okay, good CD too. Pick it up if you haven't. And they had it there, and it was signed for, I think it was $25. Now, I know that seems a little high, but it's Alice Cooper, okay? And the only way that you get to see Alice, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But so the point of the matter is, I bought the CD, okay, with Alice's signature, really nice silver Sharpie. The band, the rest of the performing band, okay, they were very nice. They signed autographs before the show and after. Okay, because they had to wait for their tour bus. So they all come out. And at that time, the tour band had Eric Singer from Kiss, because Kiss was on a break. Okay, because Eric drummed, back and forth between Alice and Kiss for 20 years. Damn good drummer. Been really nice guy too. And so, I got his autograph, and I got Chuck Garrick's and whoever, can't remember, Ryan Roxy and everybody else's. So I managed to get, after the show, I got everybody to sign the damn CD. So I got literally a whole band signed CD of the touring band of Alice's thing. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so another reason to check the merch table. All right, ask questions. My old catchphrase, which I think I ought to put on a shirt: you always gotta ask, because you just never know what's going to happen. You ask questions. You ask questions. You ask people at the merch table, hey, especially if it's a newer band, by chance, after the show, are they going to do a meet and greet? Are they going to do autographs? Because sometimes the bands will show up at the merch table after their parts, after they do their sets. Okay? I've met some nice people that way too. Sometimes they will give you hints as to, after their show, if you're nice enough, they'll take you to the tour area That's how I got to go meet Collective Soul, was because of that nice gesture. That was pretty cool too. So like I said, you always got to ask. Also, the security outside the venue too. It's like, hey, are they here yet? Things like that. You ask questions because that's the only way that you're going to find out anything. All right. Now, some security guards, of course, they're going to go off and they won't tell you everything because, they're security guards. They're not supposed to tell you everything. They're only supposed to, keep within the band. The outsiders that aren't supposed to be there, they ain't going to tell you shit, pretty much, if they don't have to. But there's nice people that'll give you little bits of information, and some that'll be total hard asses. I've dealt with both of them. But you always got to ask and be polite about it, okay? If the person's being rude, it's like, just blow them off. It's okay. Let out steam. All right, so let's see here. Other ways to get autographs. I brought this up before. I'm just going to ramble through this here. I know I'm at 16 minutes. Sorry. It's going to be a long one. Remember last time it was shorty? This one's going to be a longie. As everybody's like, oh, no. Okay. Thrift shops, garage sales. Okay. Record stores even. You'll find although with the thrift shops and garage sales, it'll be a hell of a lot cheaper. I showed you this example before. First one I could find, though, Happy Mellow Sex of Ace Cannon on High Records. Found it signed on the back by Ace Cannon. Okay? So that's some examples there. Also, how about this? Do you love a band that much that you really want to meet them? You really, really do. Okay? Fan club. That's right. Check the respective artist's website for the fan club info. See if the fan club involves meet and greets. Okay? See if it involves meet and greets. If it does, most meet and greet packages, and I mean most, are reasonably priced. Reasonable. What I'm saying is that sometimes it'll be included in the fan club membership fee. Other times, it's slightly extra. Other times, it's ridiculous. What do I mean by that? I have seen, I've seen meet and greets as high as, oh, jeez, I'm probably going to get this wrong. I want to say $500. That was Kiss. They want $500 for a meet and greet. Really? And people pay it. ZZ Top, $250 they want. Ted Nugent, I think it was the same price for Teddy, maybe slightly less. Maybe it was $200. I'm sorry. I love you guys, and everybody's got a right to make their money the way they want to. But come on, that's a little ridiculous. I'm calling you all out. That's a little ridiculous. It's one thing if you're a member of a fan club. Okay? You're a member of the club. You pay your dues yearly, right? Like, okay, for example, Metallica. Metallica goes off. There's, Metallica, duh. Lots of fans there, right? In the millions. What they do with their fan club is that if you got tickets for whatever concert you're going to, and you're going to be there, they throw your name in like a lottery, a meet and greet lottery, and then they pick X amount of people from the people that are going to that particular gig and go, guess what? You're in, you and a friend get to meet us, and then 2 items max, which, that seems fair enough. So, I like Charlie Daniels' music. So I got to meet him finally. Yeah, it took 2 times, but I got to. But look at this. I love this picture. To Paul. God bless Charlie Daniels. And here's a signed in silver Fire on the Mountain. I got a bunch of other albums from his, but That's just one example there too. So, fan clubs, okay? I think, what is it? Heart has a reasonable price fan club too, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Another way, store appearances. Now, I know for some people, do you have a lot of music stores in your area? I mean, if you're in a bigger city, you probably do, okay? Rockford had a Gazzardo's. Gazzardo's was in Rockford. So, for example, B3, not G3, the guitar 3, but B3, the bassists. The year that I saw them, because they were coming into town to play a small show. It was a small, intimate show, actually. It was Jeff Berlin, Stu Hamm from Joe Satriani, and Billy Sheehan. Okay? Well, Billy Sheehan and Stu Hamm I heard of. Jeff Berlin, I finally have heard some stuff of his. He's really good, too. But I show up, it's free to go into this event. In fact, they had a raffle, if I remember correctly, too. They were giving away a bass signed by these guys. Really nice. So I get there thinking there'd be a lot of people. There was maybe like 15, 20 people tops. So that's how I was able to get Billy Sheehan to sign this Australian import of the Best of Mr. Big. And, sorry, let me pull this out here. I wish at that time I had his Talus albums. But I got him to sign, I know you can barely see it, but I got him to sign the copy of David Lee Roth's Eat 'em and Smile, which he's on that one. He left, unfortunately, after that to, well, not unfortunately, but, he went to go do Mr. Big. So music store appearances. Another one, I'll show you another one here. I didn't get to go to this one, okay? I wanted to so bad. But here's another thing too. If you establish a relationship with the venue, sometimes they'll be really nice. And if you send a small check, sometimes that helps too. Carl Palmer did an appearance at a drum store. That's how I got some Carl Palmer signed. There's Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Trilogy autographed, and Asia's Alpha. I got a couple other ones, but those are the main examples. Let's see. Okay, here's another one here. Do you have friends of a friend that deal with concerts? You want to volunteer and go work? That's another interesting little scenario too. You learn some things. You learn some things on the other side of the magic curtain on how gigs are really run. And most of the time, hopefully you'll have some fun and get to meet these people, which is exactly what happened to me. Let me pull out my examples here. Okay. Excuse me. When I met Eddie Money in 2004 and worked backstage, really nice autograph. Nice guy. Really nice guy. He's a showman and a half. And also then in 2005, I got to work backstage for Night Ranger and got 4 out of the 5 autographs. No Alan Fitzgerald on this one, unfortunately, but I got everybody else. I heard they're all back together, all 5 members. Yes. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah. And once again, I'll pull this back really quick. When you are going to a gig, always research. Check your lineups. Who's in the band? Okay? Check on the websites, the band websites, all that other stuff, because sometimes you can score extra autographs if you are informative. Like I did for Donnie Baldwin, drummer at that time of the Eddie Money Tour in 2004, who signed Knee Deep in the Hoopla from Starship because he was the drummer for Jefferson Starship Yeah, back when they were Jefferson, back in '83, which was like the last one with Katner, from Nuclear Furniture all the way to '87, '88, and then he left. All right, so like I said, here's a couple other things I'll show you here. I know I showed some of these already, but more garage sale ones that are Mark Wills signed CD, Chris Montez signed CD. All right, also, here's some other goofy little things too. Okay, I brought up about volunteering to work shows. Okay, how you get to meet some people and get pictures and stuff. Go see my Facebook page. You'll see the pictures of me with Night Ranger and Eddie Money for examples. This is kind of a smaller chance, but what if a friend or a relative happens to know a band that you've heard of and you like, and you're like, hey, is it possible? Well, I won't mention names, but my buddy happened to be related to the drummer of this band, Cross Canadian Ragweed. Can't talk. And got that completely band signed as well. Let's see, what other things here? Oh, jeez.